Hey there people, this is Cold again, and for this video we're going to be going through all 6 stages, 6 EX stages of the Confess Before the Gavel Strikes event, and I'll be providing side commentary to basically go over what my strategy was for each stage. So I'll implement them in your playthrough. So anyway, for this first stage here, we are once again tasked with defending Tordog here. If you played the hard stages already, you're already familiar with this mechanic. For this stage, Tordog will always move away from you at the end of the round. So what we want to do here is actually to position ourselves so that Tordog will move away from the center of the board. Because as you can see, the center of the board is where not only the traps are, but is where Tordog is most vulnerable to enemy attacks. Specifically from those elite enemies you see there, the blue, the water defiance mark. Their elite ability, by the way, is defensive attack, which just gives them defense reducing, damage reducing defense. So in other words, they're hard to take down early on, but they lose defense as time goes on. Regardless, you want to take them down as fast as possible. So I did mess up in the first round there, but regardless, I eventually corrected myself, and now Tordog is moving to the left of the board. And I decided to go White Thunder team here since their elite enemies here are water type. So taking advantage of that elemental counter damage. And I have 3 converters here. As you see, just to maximize the number of yellow tiles on board. Make that easier for me, especially when the next wave of enemies comes around. And of course the other enemies here, the water dark wasps and the fire dark dread blades. As far as I don't remember this is true or not actually, but I think the dread blades only attack you. And the other enemies, the dark wasps and the defiance mark, will go up to Tordog. So I prioritize the water enemies first to ensure that Tordog doesn't get hurt. As you can see, having all those yellow tiles available makes life easy for me. And I use Reinhardt here because her sniper like attacks help cover ground with the enemies. And as you can see, Tordog can't really take that many hits, so we don't let the enemies get more than one round of attacks in. I have Nadine here as a healer, but that may be unnecessary. So you can maybe trade out Nadine for another damage dealer. Maybe like Reddy or someone. But that was stage 1. Now on to stage 2. Now stage 2 here threw me for a doozy, because the way the stage works is once again we have Tordog here to protect. However, his movement, as you'll see here, he will start at the top left of the stage and will make his way to the bottom right. For some reason, there have been attempts here where Tordog looks like he's stuck. Like, at the end of the round he'll move, but he won't actually move and he'll just stay there, which is really bad because you want him to move to get away from the enemies here. And I'm not entirely sure how that happens, but if that does happen, you need to reset, so there's no way you're gonna win if Tordog is stuck in place. Oh, you can. That's not the strat I went with, of course, because Toad Dog can't take that many hits here. So let's talk about the enemies here. So the Thunder enemy there, the elite enemy, is the Inferno. And the Inferno, as I'm sure you're all familiar with by now, will launch attacks at the end of the round on random parts of the reward. As far as I'm concerned, Toad Dog is not affected by this attack. However, you are. And this attack can hurt. So you're where you're taking that damage, and at the same time, it's thunder attack, so it will paralyze you, making it so you can only move one tile the next round. So keep that in mind if you're gonna take the damage. But since it can hurt Toad Dog, I'm not super concerned about it, but I am concerned with all the other enemies. So we have the Forest Progress there, those flying green enemies on the right there, which can fly and shoot Toad Dog from a distance. And the red fire enemies, the fire Dark Wasps, which were closing on Toad Dog to launch some melee attacks. So as you see here, I did my best to eliminate the first group of enemies as fast as possible, because I should stipulate these enemies will keep respawning and respawning. I believe they're infinite, I'm not sure. At least 3 waves of them will spawn, and I can't guarantee that you'll be able to pick them all out over and over again, especially because of those 2 gaps there in the center of the stage. Which is of course why I went with Vice here and Barrel to be able to cover more ground with my attacks. Because you do not want to go into the center line there in the middle where Toad Dog is going, because you have very little maneuverability. And I have 3 converters here to help with Vice's active skill as well as to get some chain combos going. My converters, of course, are Serial, Klecken, and you will Tina. Tina's skill is that she can convert up to 3 tiles to blue, but that's any tile, and she creates it in like a line from where you're standing. You'll see here in a moment. So as you see here, Toad Dog is at the end of the board, so he'll stay there, but that's okay because I only have to survive 1 more round, and I just have to eliminate this enemy here. The reason why I went to the top right of the board, by the way, is to take care of the ogres, because they have range attacks, and when Toad Dog's there, they will try to move to the center of the board to attack him, like that. And the wasps have to get close and far away. So that was stage 2. Moving on to stage 3, this one was more tricky. So the only 2 enemy types here, we have the Dread Blades, but they are the elite variation, and their elite variation is Blessed 3, which is they gain a shield of 8% of the max HP as each round starts. And if you do not break their shield by the end of the round, they get an attack buff of 5%. Their attack increases by 5%, and their action increases by 1. Which means if you do not bring down the shields at all, they get more deadly and can easily overwhelm you. As you see here, there's 4 right here, and if I get attacked by all 4, that's a lot of damage right there. But yeah, Toad Dog is back. We'll get to him in just a moment. The other enemy type here, as you see here, are the Forest Gloom Ghouls. They will stay in place and attack from a distance. And as you see here, they're launching attacks against Toad Dog. Their attacks are not super strong, so it's not like you're super concerned about them right away, but you should do your best to eliminate them as fast as possible. Because keep in mind, you cannot restore Toad Dog's health. As far as I'm concerned, that is. Feel free to prove me wrong if you do know something that I don't. Yeah, and the Gloom Ghouls do have a lot of shields on them at first, so this is why I went with the lineup I did. I have Charon here as mainly as my damage dealer, but also as a nice converter. I also have Klecken and Essie as converters, Novio for healing. I also brought along Carly and Smoldering Soul to also help out with not just converting tiles, but moving around the board, because we want to be getting as many normal attacks as possible. not just around both types of enemies, the Dreadblade and the Blue Ghouls.
力を与えたまえ
So as you see here, I'm taking advantage of Carling's skill here to move around the board and convert, get new reptiles in place so I can get in multiple attacks against the Dreadblades. Oh yeah, I don't think I said this yet. The Dreadblades will only go after you, which is, I guess is a good thing because if they did go after Tordog, this would be very difficult because they do so much damage. And as for the Glue Ghouls, they'll mostly go for Tordog, but they can attack you too. At least I think the ones in the next wave will. So I went with my fire team here because the Glue Ghouls are forest type and seems like half of the Dreadblades are. So once again, taking advantage of that elemental counter damage. And of course, having Novio healing me and all my converters converting non-reptiles to reptiles help make life more easier. So if you are going to go rounds where you can't do a lot of damage, you want to try to distance yourself from the Dreadblades. Because as you see, I came close to dying a few times. Multiple Dreadblades attacking me at once. So now here's wave 2. And now we got 4 Blue Ghouls here, but same business as usual. We do our best to try to rotate as fast as possible. Dreadblades are black here. So you see here, those Blue Ghouls are now attacking us. I think 2 of them are attacking us and 2 of them are attacking Tordog. It looks like they're... So you see here, I don't have my skills yet, so I'm distancing myself from the Dreadblades and taking care of the shields of the Gloom Ghouls, so that way my attacks will do the appropriate damage. And as you can see, Tordog is now close to death now, so I gotta take care of these guys fast. So, as you see here, take care of 3 of the Gloom Ghouls, only 1 left. And here I didn't want to risk Tordog dying, so I took care of the last one with 3 Dreadblades dead. And I almost died there. That was close.
サンナの霊長よ力を与え
So now Tordog's safe now, so now it's just on me to survive. That is the benefit of taking care of the Gloom Ghouls right away. That you get rid of them, you no longer have to worry about Tordog's safety. Yeah, so here I was being careful here because I wanted to make sure I knew what I was doing.
いつでも貫ける
動力点球真理こそ唯一
苦しめ泣き叫べ 攻め手は緩めない
Yeah, so here I get a pretty lucky break with the tile RNG.
動力点球
もう恐れることはありません
苦しめ泣き叫べ
Yeah, so I guess the overall strat for this stage would be to take care of the Gloom Ghouls as fast as
い
possible.
つでも貫ける
Do your best to avoid being comboed by the Dread Blades. And you should be good.
うつろなる瞳
私たちは地獄から来たのだ
So that's stage
負けるは
3
ずがな
down.
かろう
Now let's move on to stage 4. So stage 4 here is pretty interesting. Our main threat here is the Evil Eye here, which is of the elite variant. There's no Tordog here, by the way, thankfully, so we don't have to worry about protecting someone else. It's just
お
on
任
us.
せください
And you see here, I have the new Aurorian Lin tombs here.
準備完了
We'll get to him in a moment. So this Evil Eye here, in the center of the stage,
発射準備
as I'm sure you all know, Evil Eye spawn enemies every round. And its elite ability is Balance 2,
発射
in
準
which the
備
Evil Eye counters Aurorian's active skills by summoning Dark Wasps into battle.
狙いは
And in
定め
addition to other enemies here, we have the Fire Bunch one at the top there, which will attack us from a distance, so we don't have to worry about those guys.
全域戦車
And of course we have that one warmonger there on the corner there. Because of the way this battlefield is set up, that warmonger is stuck in that part of the board actually, so we don't have to worry about him getting close to us. But we do have to eliminate him to get to the next wave. The most important piece of information you need to know about the stage is that you see here how I am attacking the Dark Wasps?
裁きを
That
受けよ
people are taking damage.
私たちを癒して
That's the key thing you can know about the stage, is that
仕方
is
が
the
ない
battlefield characteristic pain transfer you see it on the bottom left of the screen, in which the Dark Wasp transfers a portion of its damage taken to an Evil Eye. So thankfully, this means we don't have to necessarily attack the Evil Eye directly. We could just attack all the wasp it spawns and it would deal pretty good damage to it.
アポロンの狙いは定めた
That doesn't mean you can't deal damage to the eye itself.
アポロンの矢発射
In fact, you could maybe formulate a plan to attack wasps along the way and finish a chain combo on the Evil Eye if the situation presents
狙いは
itself.
定位無法
So for my Aurorians here, I'm using the new Aurorian Lin, who is the Thunder
アポロンの
Detonator.
矢
I
全
have
域
my
戦
team
車
here for healing. I have Beverly and Sealed for now conversion, and I have Marco here for
光の下で
also detonator damage and the ability to teleport, which is very useful for dealing maximum damage to not just the eye but also the wasps, which also deal damage to the eye. So you see here, I have actually managed to get a little bit
私たち
to
を
give it
癒
to
して
the eye. However, you do have to kill the wasp that it spawned. They will not go away when the eye is defeated. So I guess a little bit about Lin here. His deal is that he has a buff stack called Zeal, and he will get a Zeal of 5 every time he does a normal attack, which will slowly increase the amount of damage he does. And if he reaches 100 like he does here, he will no longer do normal attacks, but he will get a buff to his chain combo. That buff depending on how much you leveled up. I think for me right now it's 30% extra damage, which is nice. And his active skills out of either he can do like a wave attack in one of the 4 directions, which does pretty good damage, but will drain his Zeal. Or he can go into Overload, where for the turn that's active, he can still do those normal attacks, but his Zeal will be drained at the end of the turn. So you'll see me actually use the first active skill I mentioned there a couple times here, which actually saves me, because I did not want this fight to drag on, and it is very convenient that I had that skill. So you see here, Whirlwind Charge here. It's kind of a waste to use it on this very low health Warmonger, but I wanted to not risk losing another round. So here's the deal, you kill that guy, 2 Evil Eyes spawn now. So now both those Evil Eyes will spawn once every round and whenever you use an active skill. But thankfully, the damage the wasps take is transferred to Evil Eye property still applies here. So we can take advantage of that to deal damage to the eyes indirectly rather than directly. So, not exactly having the best line here, but I could take whatever opportunity I try to do excellent damage to the eyes. So I was kind of in a tight spot here, but thankfully I managed to make it myself. And I pretty much got this fight won at this point. The Evil Eye, the last one, is very low on health. And once again, once we defeat the Evil Eyes, we also have to defeat all the wasps that they spawned. And as you see here, that won't be too much of a problem. So I think what that would do it for this stage. We're now doing stage 5 here. So we're moving into stage 5 here. And for this stage, I'm going with my water team here. And actually, interestingly enough, I actually managed to do this stage on my first try. So I used Moyobai here, because I didn't think I was going to complete this on my first try. I'm not sure I would have used her if that was the case, but I guess it worked out at the end. So the way this stage is set up is, you see we have a row, well, diagonal line of barriers there in the middle. So that means that enemies will not be able to cross from one side of the board to the
そ
other,
の目に映
but
力
you
を入れ
can,
ないで
because you can travel diagonally. So for this fight, we have an interesting ability here called One Soul. So the way One Soul works is, you see those two dread blades there, the fire ones that have the purple health bars?
山猫は眠れない
The One Soul characteristic states that whenever an elite dread blade is attacked or recovers HP, and the other elite dread blade will take the same amount of damage or recover the same
その
amount
目
of
に
HP.
深海
So
の
essentially that means that whenever you're attacking one dread blade, the other
力を
one takes the
深
same
淵に
amount of
沈むがいい
damage.
わ
So essentially that means that when you're attacking the dread blades, it doesn't matter which one you're attacking, you're doing the same damage to both, and thus both will die at the same time once you deal enough damage. So other enemies we have to worry about here, we have the forest mermaids. Which will convert all tiles in its path to the same element as itself, so in this case it's
進路から
forest.
それないで
So something to keep in mind, but probably not the most concerning thing at the
少し
moment.
暑いわね
We have the fire binds mark,
お役に立
those
てばいい
flying
けど
range enemies.
もうです
And there's two more enemies types, but they won't spawn to the next wave, so we'll talk about them when that comes. Yeah, so I guess the strategy, for this would be to essentially, whenever you have a chance to be able to attack both dread blades within the same round, because remember, the damage you do to one
進路からそれないで
will also be done to the other. They do have plenty of health, so
あんまり待たせないでね
it would be wise to
まぶたがくっついちゃう
maximize damage you can do on them. And converters, of course, also help heal to help you move from one board to the other.
まぶた
And I brought a Zoo here as well to help with not only damage but also tile conversion. As you can see here, I use her skill at certain points to be able to help me cross the barriers here.
この世を清める激し終わったら休む少し暑いわねお役に立てばいいけど
So you see there, both dread blades die. So we have free reign here
道
now
しようよ
to deal with the rest of the enemies.
果てなき海よ万物を飲め
So even though it looks like I have a lot of rounds left, we don't want to waste too many here because another set of dread blades will spawn in the next round. And we want to make sure we have plenty of time to be able to deal with them. So here I'm using the mermaid skill against them
この世を
to
清める
build along the
少し
green
暑いわ
tile path.
お役に立てばいいけど
その目に映る君にいつか深海が見られますように
力深淵に沈むがいいわ山猫は眠るブルーミラージュ
Yeah, it might seem like being a sniper here would have been more helpful by having two detonators, but you'll see why I bought the detonators in just a moment.
進路からそれないであんまり待たせないでね山猫は眠るブルーミラージュ
Again, not much to say here, so I'll just wait until the next wave spawns.
力を深淵に沈むがいいわ。
Oh yeah, I do take advantage of the extra time I have here to set up as many blue tiles as possible. So the next wave, we have 2 new enemies. In addition to the Dreadblades, we have the Caressalite, I think that's pronounced, or my most hated Eclipsites. As you can see, they have the ability to lock down tiles, which prevents you from converting them to any other tile, different color tile. And we have the Doom Skull there on the top there, which has strong attacks and will also crush tiles within its attack range. So I made the decision of taking care of the Doom Skull
この世を
first.
清める。終わったら休む。癒してあげるわ。手伝うわ。
So that's one enemy out of the way. We still have the Caresite, but I'll get him a little later.
あんまり待たせないで。山猫は
So as you see there, that Dreadblade didn't attack me because it couldn't. Because they can't cross diagonally between tiles. So that Caressalite there is one reason why you want to have as many same color tiles of your choosing before the next wave, so you don't have to worry about connecting tiles to it to kill it.
深海が見られますように。
力深淵に沈むがいいわ。
So I cut things a little close here.
山猫は眠らないわ。山猫は眠らない。ブルーミラージュ。
So I decided to go for the Caressalite right away because I saw an opportunity here to kill it. And once hits the cliff, you just have to Dreadblades to worry about.
進路からそれないで。ここまでにゃ。癒してあげるわ。手伝うわ。
Just like that. Man, that's really strong. So now the rest of this is just maximizing my damage to add a Dreadblade
万
or
物を
both
飲
of
め。
them.
まぶたがくっついちゃう。いや、君らってほんとバカだにゃ。
Oh yeah, I don't think I said this, but the elite ability of the
この世を
Dreadblades
清める。
is damage increase 2, which increases the damage by 25%. So something to keep in mind. So I didn't know what I was doing there. I think I didn't take into account how much time I had left.
あんまり待たせないで。山猫はブルーミラージュ。
So I was cutting things pretty close here, but thankfully things managed to work out for me at the end.
ここまでにゃ。
霧はその目に映る君のいつか深海が見られますように。
力を深淵に沈むがいいわ。 進路からそれないで。ここまでにゃ。癒してあげるわ。
And just like that, I've won. Alright, now it's time to move on to the
海
final
から登っ
stage,
てきたわ。
EX1-EX6. And there's a lot of information to dish out here. Alright, so for this battle, we'll be taking on
今ま
the
で
four
以上に
knights.
頑張るね。
If you played the
急
story
に
of
眠
this
った
event
りはしませ
or
んので。
the last hard stage, you'll you'll be familiar with these guys.
いつもみたいにあなたが指示して。
霧は十分。
So the thing to keep in mind about them
もたもたし
is
てら
that
れない。
first off, there are
す
four
ぐ
of
に終わら
them.
せるから。
Each of them is of a different element here. And the way they attack you is that they'll either close the distance in on you and attack you that way, or they will position themselves far away from you and attack you with range. So,
その目に君のいつか深海が
so what's gonna happen here is one knight will
深
hold
淵
the,
に沈むがいいわ。
hold the ground in the center of the arena while the other three move around to attack you. Now for me, that was the water knight, and the other ones were the ones moving around the board to attack me. I'm not sure this is the case all the time, because I've only done this fight like 2 or 3 times, so maybe I got lucky or something. But let's talk
光
about
がすべて
the
の邪悪を
knights
滅
of
ぼ
the
す聖なる
North
光
before I
の
talk
もと
about
に
my strategy.
隠れる場所はありません。
So here's the thing about the knights. They are immune to stun, frighten, paralysis, and other control effects. They are immune to aggro, repel, and other passive displacement effects. They are immune to percentage damage. They are immune to burn, poison, bleeding, and other types of damage over time damage.
聖なる光よ、手伝うわ。
And it says here the 4 knights will take action first. But the most important property here is the counter effect. Here it says that the counter effect among different elements is enhanced, meaning that attacks against counter targets deal more
霧は
damage.
十分にその目に映る
So
もた
what
もた
this
してられ
means
る。すぐに終わらせるから。
is that whatever element team you decide to go with,
深海が見
you
られま
must
す
prioritize the element knight that you are
深淵に
strongest
沈
against.
むがいいわ。
So for me, in that case, it's the fire knight because I have a water team. And if you pay attention to the way they move about, you can see that the forest knight is always on the bottom left of the stage, the yellow one is on the top left, and the red one is on the top right.
光よ、まばゆい。お役に立てばいい。
Whenever they move around, you should keep this in mind, as it will allow you to plan out your strategy ahead of time in order to be able to
抜け、氷の矢。
like convert the proper tiles so that you can move in.
聖なる光がすべての邪悪を滅ぼし
Now
ま
it
す。
doesn't look like
聖なる
they do
光
that
のも
when
と
they
に
move in,
隠れる
but
場所
when
はあ
they
りま
move
せん。
out, that's when that rule seems to apply. So for my team here, since I'm only really focusing on the fire knight, you could attack the others too, of course, but the fire knight for me is
聖なる光よ、手伝うわ。
Oh yeah, I forgot to say, the damage you do to one knight will also be applied to the others, so you don't have to worry about
任せて。
killing each of the knights
もたもたして
individually.
られる。すぐに終わらせるから。
So as you see here, once again, the fire knight teleported to the top right, thunder one to the top left, and the forest one to the bottom left. And of course the water knights there in the center.
まぶしいな。君らってほんとバカだにゃ。
So for my team here, I went with Vice Keensight here because her ability is that he will put marks on one enemy whenever she attacks it or uses her skill against it. And the more marks she has on it, the more damage she does. So it's really good when you're fighting one enemy for a long time, such as the boss.
一撃必中。手伝うわ。
So you see there, my Vice mark is like 60 something there, and I eventually bring it up to 99.
霧は十分に濃くなった
And for the rest of my team, I have Phyllis Shade to help with not only healing, but providing
抜
a
け、
shield
氷の矢。
and teleporting when necessary because, as you see here, it is impossible to avoid any attacks by the knights. they will always attack you each and every
聖な
round,
る
so
光が
healing
満
is
ちも
very
たもたし
important.
てられないすぐに終わらせるから
I use Vikings to go there for more damage, and I have 3 converters here to help to maximize
力を入れ
chain,
ないで
my chain
光がすべ
combos.
ての邪悪を聖なる光のもとに
I have
隠れる
Tina
場所
once
はあり
again.
ません
I have Serial and Klecken,
力が深淵に沈むがいいわ
and as you see throughout the stage, it's just mainly about
一撃必中
just building as many blue tiles as possible so I can get my max. So I can do the maximum damage chain, which is 15, and then go to a warrior in time, so I can dish out more damage. And of course, I specifically try to target Fire Knight, but attacking the other knights does help too. So don't think that you should only attack
一撃必中ここまでに
the knight you're targeting,
聖なる光よ
but that
お
knight
役に
should be
立て
your
ばいい
main
けど
focus. So, as you can see, these knights have a lot of health.
急に眠くもたもたし
So
てら
I
れ
could
る
have
終わ
played
ら
this
せるか
better,
ら
of course. I guess I didn't realize till halfway about the whole Fire Knight always teleports to the top right of you, the green one to the top left, and the forest one to the top left, and the thunder to the bottom left.
一撃必中
So I probably could have finished this fight around the 2 earlier. But it's okay, because
霧は十分に濃くなった。
光がすべての邪悪を滅ぼします聖なる光のもとに隠れる場所はありません
thankfully I have Tina here with me to help convert yellow tiles, because Klecken and Serio cannot convert yellow tiles.
深淵に沈むがいいわ
And once again, you'll see me attacking as many knights as possible by prioritizing the Fire Knight. And again, you don't have to use a water team like me. Essentially, you can use any element team. Just make sure you attack the knight that's most vulnerable to the element counter damage. And I think that will be it for me. We're nearing the end of this fight now. So, I guess I'd like to thank you for watching if you made it this far. Hopefully maybe you learned something here that will help you out.
任せて
in your
もたも
current
たしてられない
stages.
すぐに終わらせるから
Or maybe you already did it and you're just waiting to see what will happen. Oh, by the way, did you see what happened there? Because I'm on the top right, the furthest top right of the
抜け
board,
氷の矢
instead of the Fire Knight going there, it went the opposite side. So keep that in mind. You do not want to go to the edge of the board like that, otherwise that will happen. So that almost messed me up because I assumed that Fire Knight would be next to me. Yeah, so anyway. Yeah, I'll say it again. Thank you all for watching this video. It's kind of fun to make this. Not easy to edit these videos together, as I'm slowly learning. If you did like this video, be sure to like, leave a comment too, and subscribe. I do upload
もたもたしてられないすぐ
content
に終わらせるから
pretty regularly, at least when events
光がす
happen,
べ
of
ての
course.
邪悪を滅ぼし聖なる光のもとに隠れる場所
And
はあり
be
ませ
sure
ん
to follow me on Twitch. I do stream
その霧
whenever I'm gaming, pretty much
見られますように。
on like a daily basis, or every other day, every other day, depends on how my schedule is. Feedback is greatly appreciated, of course, because that lets me know like what people like, what people don't like, what they would like to see in the future, and such. So, if you can let me know, I would greatly appreciate it, because it doesn't mean I'm half guessing all the time.
お手本
But
に
yeah,
できる
that'll
戦
be
い
it
ね
for me. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, goodbye.